So we got no One Piece chapter this week. We got the chapter 800 next week. And by the way, shout out to Oda. Congratulations to making it this far. 800 chapters. It's incredible. One of the best shonen jumps ever. So anyway, this week's gonna be a chance to do a discussion video and give you brief thoughts and let me know your thoughts down below on what you think is going to happen in what might happen in chapter 800 next week. There's a lot of theories, a lot of rumours, but let's start with what we know and what we don't know before we start off with the theories. First off, two things we know already, and the third obviously, but it's not really an event. It's obvious that the Dressrosa arc will be ending hopefully next week. But the two main things obviously is Fujitora, one way or another, is going to either drop the rubble or he's going to have a choice to make, because Fujitora is already stuck at once to the government, so who knows. But we're going to get to see Fujitora and what he's going to do, if he's going to drop the rubble, and he personally might. And well, it depends, because last week Fujitora actually said there's a admiration for Luffy, because he went so far as to say, "Oh, I wish I could have taken my eyes away from me, so I could actually see you, Straw Hat Luffy." So that's his admiration for Luffy there. And second thing, we know Luffy's going to make a choice of whether or not we actually get 5,600 additional Colosseum fighters join the fleet of the Straw Hats. Now, whether or not this does or not happen is down to two people, Luffy and Oda. But I'm going to be honest, I'm fine with either. Whether or not Luffy decides to say no to the offer, and I'll be fine with that. And if he accepts the offer and we do get 5,600 people, which is insane, joining the fleet of the Straw Hats, hopefully that's the idea, if that's the way it's going to go. And it'll be badass, and obviously, strategically speaking, for Law Luffy's standpoint, it really helps him out, but I don't know if it's going to do any good against Kaido, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, the reason why I'd be fine with either Luffy accepts or he doesn't is really we don't usually see people offering to join the Straw Hats. It's usually Luffy asks them to join the Straw Hats, and I believe Luffy's already said that he wants a select few, not many, joining his crew. So it'll be interesting to see what Luffy decides next week. And the second, well, I think that only one person has actually offered to join the Straw Hats, and that was Nico Robin after the Alphasta arc. But that being said, I don't know if Luffy's going to accept. Personally, I'm fine with it either way, because really it's character development for Luffy anyway, because 5,600 people against Kaido. Let's be honest, we all want to see Luffy versus Kaido, even though Luffy or Law may get their asses handed to him, but that's going to be the character development for Luffy, because he's got hoops to jump before he gets to that level of Yonko. Now, that's what we currently know, what's going to go down. What we hope might happen is a couple of things I thought are very interesting. Number one is one that a lot of people keep forgetting, and we haven't seen him, Doflamingo without his shades. Now, after 791, we assume we might not get that big. Who knows? This Oda's trolling method to troll us right to the end, so who knows? Also, no, it's a pretty big deal. People were hyped, and Oda shied away from that and gave us the reveal back in 795. Now, that being said, the reason there's so much expectations on chapter 800 is because before 795, if you would have told me, and by the way, I thought Kaido or we get Return of Sanji and the rest of the crew on chapter 800, we got that on 795. You would have told me at the start of the year we would have Kaido introduced before chapter 800, I would have laughed in your face. I'm being honest, and a lot of people might have felt the same thing, but we got, shockingly enough, we got the chapter and we got the reveal, and it was one of the biggest chapters, if not the biggest chapter of the year. besides Luffy going Gear 4, and maybe a last week's chapter, a lot of people liked it, but it's alright, it's okay, it's okay. But that being said, now, the other thing I'm thinking about is, are we going to get to see another Admiral on that island? Let's say Luffy decides to, okay, let the 5,600 Coliseum Pirates and the Alliance join up with the Straw Hats in the fleet. There's a good chance something fucked up really may happen at the end of next week's chapter, so we could get a reveal from Admiral, and there's a lot of people saying they haven't seen Kizaru, or they haven't seen... We still have to get introduced to Green Bull, obviously, but who knows? That's a side note right now. It's a slim chance, but it's a possibility. The other thing is, obviously, the most popular one is seeing what the fuck's gone on with Kaido against the Kid Alliance. Or let's be honest, we all know how that's going to end. And I've said this once before. We already know that Kid and the rest of the Alliance are targeting Shanks, and obviously they become subordinates of Kaido, so maybe we've got to see what the fuck went down to Kaido and Kid and the Kid Alliance. So there's that, plus we could get another glimpse of what Sanji and the rest of the crew did. Or at the the first part of the chapter is, you know, Luffy accepts or declines the offer for the additional 5,600 people to join the crew. That could be the first part of the chapter. The second part of the chapter could be what happens on Wano. That's more or less possible. No, Oda. Or we could get something brand new we haven't seen before. And I still believe this today. And we could get Big Mom arrive and fuck everything up. Now that is we have no idea what Big Mom is, or whether or not she was actually on that ship when they were targeting Sanji and the rest of the crew, as well as Caesar. But we have no idea where they ended up. They could have followed Sanji and the rest of the crew to Wano, or whether or not it's just the subordinates, or whether Big Mom herself could appear outside of Dressrosa. We don't know, but that's another theory. Another theory is we'll get to see NL back in the picture, but I don't know about it. There's a lot of expectations, but really, it really boils down to what Oda does and how Luffy responds next week. And I can't wait to see what's going to go down. It's a lot of expectations, a lot of hype, and yeah, once again, congratulations to Oda making it this far. 800 chapters is insane. Now, whenever there's a 100th chapter, like there was at 700, which, by the way, this arc is lasting 100 chapters, so that's insane. The longest arc in One Piece, on that alone. But last in 700 we got Doflamingo with Mary. Perhaps it could happen with Doflamingo, who knows. But I mean, that being said, let me know your thoughts down below. Like the video if you did, I appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel as always to catch more videos from your way. And catch you guys later.